Hey everyone, and welcome to my completionist playthrough of Diablo 2, played on hardcore as a sorceress. That's a bit of a mouthful, but anyway, for any additional info about the playthrough, check my introduction video. But right now, let's get straight into the gameplay. We're going to have a fresh, clean start here, as our sorceress, the mistress of elemental magics. We're going to make sure that it's on hardcore, and she is going to be known as Nisharin. So let's get right into it. We know what hardcore is all about, we like that threat of permanent death. So let's begin. Now, a quick explanation. On the normal difficulty, the first time we go through this story, I am going to let the NPC's greetings and quest speeches play out. On the Nightmare in Hell, I'm of course going to skip everything, but on this first run through normal, I'm going to let them speak. And if you're familiar with the game and want to fast forward to where the gameplay begins, there's going to be a timestamp on the screen. Basically, at the beginning of each act on normal, we're going to have a couple of people to talk to, like Warriv here, being pretty eager to give us the Welcome to Diablo 2 speech. So let us listen to what he has to say.
Greetings, stranger. I'm not surprised to see your kind here. Many adventurers have traveled this way since the recent troubles began. No doubt you've heard about the tragedy that befell the town of Tristram. Well, some say that Diablo, the Lord of Terror, walks the world again. I don't know if I believe that, but a dark wanderer did travel this route a few weeks ago. He was headed east to the mountain pass guarded by the rogue monastery. Maybe it's nothing, but evil seems to have trailed in his wake. You see, shortly after the wanderer went through, the monastery's gates to the pass were closed, and strange creatures began ravaging the countryside. Until it's safer outside the camp and the gates are reopened, I'll remain here with my caravan. I hope to leave for Lutgulain before the shadow that fell over Tristram consumes us all. If you're still alive then, I'll take you along. You should talk to Akara, too. She seems to be the leader of this camp. Maybe she can tell you more.
So yeah, we got some introduction here about the Dark Wanderer that was also present in the intro cinematic. And you know, the shadow that befell Tristram, the town from Diablo 1. And generally the story is going to be pretty straightforward, and it's going to just explain itself over the course of the 5 acts as it unfolds. So we're going to learn more about it as we go along. But yeah, let's talk to Akara, who is the leader of the rogues here. And she is going to have a special dialogue here since we're playing the sorceress. So let's see what she has to say.
Greetings, young sorceress. It is good to see more of your kind at work in the world these dark days. In my opinion, the world needs more women to fight against the Great Shadow. But I am forgetting my manners. I am Akara, High Priestess of the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye. I welcome you, traveler, to our camp, but I'm afraid I can offer you but poor shelter within these rickety walls. You see, our ancient sisterhood has fallen under a strange curse. The mighty citadel, from which we have guarded the gates to the east for generations, has been corrupted by the evil demoness Andariel. I still can't believe it, but she turned many of our sister rogues against us and drove us from our ancestral home. Now the last defenders of the sisterhood are either dead are scattered throughout the wilderness. I implore you, stranger, please help us. Find a way to lift this terrible curse, and we will pledge our loyalty to you for all time.
And now time for the first quest.
There is a place of great evil in the wilderness. Kasha's rogue scouts have informed me that a cave nearby is filled with shadowy creatures and horrors from beyond the grave. I fear that these creatures are massing for an attack against our encampment. If you are sincere about helping us, find the dark labyrinth and destroy the foul beasts. May the Great Eye watch over you.
Alright, so now we have our first quest, the Den of Evil. We're going to do that soon. Akara also mentioned Kasia. Here she is.
Welcome, Outlander, to our glorious hovel. I know you're here to challenge the evil that's driven us from our ancestral home. But know this. Akara may be our spiritual leader, but I command the rogues in battle. It will take more than just killing a few beasts in the wilderness to earn my trust.
So she has a bit of an attitude. By the way, Akara there, since we were playing the sorceress, she was like, Yeah, you're a sorceress. You're a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. But anyway, here's Charcy, a likable character.
Hi there. I'm Charcy, the blacksmith here in camp. It's good to see some strong adventurers around here. Many of our sisters fought bravely against Diablo when he first attacked the town of Tristram. They came back to us true veterans, bearing some really powerful items. It seems like their victory was short-lived, though. Most of them are now corrupted by Ondario.
Yeah, one of the 3 classes playable in Diablo 1 was the rogue. One of the members of this clan, I guess. And then the final character we're going to speak to is Guide. Charcy, by the way, has a special dialogue if you play a barbarian. She likes some barbs, dude.
Good day to you, partner. I'm Guide, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp. A spare weapon, some gold, a small gem is all I want in exchange for the equipment you'll need on whatever quest you might undertake. No, don't be shy. All of my items are guaranteed for life and come with a 2-day warranty.
Wow, sick. He is the guy that you can gamble with. We're of course going to explain all of the different mechanics and whatnot as we go through the game, but now we're ready. We've heard all of the greeting speeches and whatnot.
Evil beware.
Yeah, now we can go into the wilderness. And by the way, we just start with this staff that gives us +1 to Firebolt. We actually have this skill right here. Can even bind it. This is going to be very temporary. And also I'm going to do this for later. And yeah, basically here in the Bloodmoor, there's already like tons of stuff to really explain. Oh, this might be the house with the super chest inside, which is pretty cool. This can sometimes give us some wealth, and basically that's what we're looking for here. Just some initial items that will sell relatively well, so that we can get some gold to buy some early necessities. And chip gems, throwing knives, a blue item, perhaps a magic item, are going to give us that. Here we have an experience shrine that is going to boost the experience we get by 50%, and a very nice shrine, but not really the... Oh, wow, we're getting spoiled here. Alright, here's the Den of Evil. I'm just going to drop our town portal here, and we're going to be back here later. Basically, on the Bloodmoor, we just need to follow the path, and it's going to bring us to the next area with a waypoint right at the beginning, to the Cold Plains. And anyway, I was about to say that these first episodes are going to be kind of slow for 2 reasons. First off, there's just going to be plenty of mechanics to explain. Starting a new playthrough in a game as complex as Diablo 2, and that's just the nature of things. But also because normal is slow. It's basically a situation where we don't have any gear, any of our skills. Wow, those experience shrines, man. All right, here we got a level. Can actually renew these shrines. The shrine, I think the way to go is actually over there. And yeah, there's just going to be plenty of stuff to cover in these first few episodes. And yeah, basically, on normal, we don't have our skills yet. Our build is not yet very advanced, but it is all going to, of course, change as we go through the game. And it's basically like on Nightmare, everything starts to click, because at that point you actually do have some gear to give you some stats. You have enough skill points from levels to actually make your build kind of come together. You probably have some mobility skills, you have your main damage skills set up as well. Normally I wouldn't really stay and kill all of these monsters here, but I don't want to have this experience shrine go to waste that much, so that's why I'm kind of killing a little bit more than I would normally do. But yeah, let's just go to the Cold Plains and clear the Den of Evil. Here we're going to meet Flavie, and since we have not yet completed the Den of Evil quest, she is going to have some words of warning for us. Some pretty mean words.
Turn back. I can tell that you need more experience to fight safely in the next wilderness. Halt. You should complete Akara's quest before venturing further. Search for the den in the wilderness closer to camp.
Shut up, Flavie. I don't need your condescending tone. You're lucky that we're on the same side. Here. Take that as a warning. Consider that a warning, Flavie. Anyway, here's our waypoint. Now we can go back to town, and we didn't really pick up too much stuff, but... let's identify these boots. Alright, they're going to sell for a little bit there. These potions got us some gold. So anyway, some early necessities are going to be a lot of mana potions, some stamina potions, 1 TP. Actually, our situation is pretty decent. We actually got some good stuff. Anyway, now we can go back through our town portal and actually get to the Den of Evil quest, and we can even pick up another experience shrine on our way. And now let's actually do our level up here. I am going to go into Charged Bolt. That's going to be our main skill.
This place is trouble.
Yeah, I'm also going to allow the Sorceress's lines to play out if possible. I'm going to try not to talk over them. But yeah, we also have some... Sometimes the shift click doesn't work for the first time I do it. Maybe it requires the cursor to be in a very specific position. But anyway, we get 5 attribute points per level, and if you shift click there, you can spend all the remaining attribute points that you have into a skill. So that's what I'm usually going to be, just spending 5 points. Oh wow, that was quite a haul. Actually, I'm going to be rusty as all hell with my hotkeys and whatnot. Actually, the sash now allows us to have a second row of potions, which is very nice. We can put some mana potions in there. And yeah, with the den, we just need to kill all of the monsters here. It's pretty empty so far. Anyway, let's do some of our charged bolts. This is the only AoE skill for the Sorceress until level 12. That's why it's usually very common to start out with it. And then at level 12, sometimes there's a early respec, like where you use your respec from normal difficulty after we finish the Den of Evil. We're going to be able to reset our skills once or using the services of Akara. Or even an additional stamina potion. By the way, like I said, there's tons of stuff to explain. This bar is our stamina, and of course you might have noticed that when we run, it goes down. It's not going to be an issue for too long, because once we get enough vitality, our stamina is going to naturally increase, and then later on the Sorceress is going to mostly move through the usage of teleport, so it's not going to be that big of an issue. But especially in like Act 1 and 2 on normal, we are going to have to depend on our stamina potions for that mechanic not to be too bothersome for us. And yeah, let's see if we got anything there for selling. Doesn't seem like it. Also, kind of class items that have the ability to have plus skills on them sell very well. So like Druid or Barbarian helmets or wands or staves for the Sorceress. Especially if they have, you know, a lot of plus skills, they are going to sell for some serious money. Oh yeah, I didn't put these points in there. And here's our first super elite, Corpse Fire. And his minions. They are going to give us some experience. By the way, these fallen shamans, of course, resurrect the little fallen guys. And when it comes to mobs that or monsters that get resurrected like that, there's a couple of different types of minions that can resurrect others. If you kill a guy for the first time, it gives you experience. But then if they get resurrected and you kill them again, you don't get the experience for any of those subsequent kills. And I think we must have missed one monster somewhere, I think early on in the cave, because I think this should be pretty clear. But yeah, this gives me actually some time to... oh yeah, there it is. And let's allow the Sorceress to say her piece.
This cave has been purged of evil.
Yeah, now we just need to return to Akara, and just to save a town portal scroll, I'm just going to do save and quit. And now we're back. With Kasia, we're going to talk to her in a second.
You have cleansed the den of evil. You've earned my trust, and may yet restore my faith in humanity. Your reward is training in the skill of your choice.
yeah, the reward is +1 skill point. We can put it further into Charged Bolt. And by the way, I forgot to talk about a couple of things. First of all, on this right sidebar here, you're going to see that I have a pretty nice utility going that you're going to be able to see all of our stats kind of in real time without actually looking at this panel. That is, of course, you know, most of the time it's not visible. I'm not going to have it opened, of course, most of the time, but you know, at any time you can kind of see what level we are, what kind of stats we're rocking, what kind of players we're playing on, you know, using the players command. Yeah, now we have the reset stat and skill points from Akara, and yeah, let's actually see what's going on here. We're going to, oh yeah, we don't have enough gold. This well, sold for a little bit. These Katars usually don't sell too well, these assassin weapons. Yeah, that was actually a loss, buying the identification scroll for 80 and then selling that for just 77. I'm just going to get some mana points and that is going to be it. But anyway, what else? Oh, also, when it comes to the inner workings of Charged Bolt, of course, it sends out multiple of these bolts, and the thing is that whenever any of these bolts hit a creature, it disappears. So a bolt can only hit one creature, but a certain creature can be hit by multiple of these bolts. So once we have more of them and stand close to a creature, especially a large one, we can actually hit them you know, with a lot of these bolts at the same time and deal a lot of single target damage as well if we're kind of close enough. Anyway, let's talk to Kasia. She's going to have a quest for us.
My rogue scouts have just reported an abomination in the monastery graveyard. Apparently, Andariel is not content to take only our living. Bloodraven, one of our finest captains in the battle against Diablo at Tristram, was also one of the first to be corrupted by Andariel. Now you'll find her in the monastery graveyard, raising our dead as zombies. We cannot abide this defilement. If you are truly our ally, you will help us destroy her.
Yeah, so now the Den of Evil quest is completed. It becomes grayed out, and now our next quest is to look for Bloodraven in the burial grounds. I don't know when was the last time I actually did this quest, but starting from the Cold Plains, you're going to see how, like, it's going to be immediately apparent how different this playthrough is going to be, especially in some locations compared to how you would normally play the game. Normally the Cold Plains is entirely just a transit area for you to get to the Stony field, but in our case we're going to have a couple of objectives to do here. First off, there's going to be a side area called the Cave that we're going to have to visit because there's going to be a super unique there for us to kill. This is going to be the path leading to the burial ground, I think, because if you imagine the Cold Plains as a square, the burial ground is always kind of like in the corner of the square, and the passage to, let's just make sure, yeah, it is the burial grounds. We're going to, well, we can actually do it in a moment. But anyway, the passage to the Stony field is usually in kind of the middle of one of these sides. But anyway, actually no. Well, let's do the burial grounds. Let's be systematic about it. Let's do this Bloodraven quest.
There is dark magic at work here.
Let's do the Bloodraven quest. Put her to the test. Put her in the ground for her final rest. Yo. Being exceptionally dorky today, but
my army will destroy you.
Oh yeah, wanted to get the Bloodraven quote in there. I was about to say that I'm being exceptionally dorky today, but I think it's because I'm just so happy to be finally playing a game. You know, I've been really busy, and it also took me a long time to set everything up, but now finally we can play and have fun with this amazing game. So yeah, Bloodraven is a little annoying, but nothing too bad. And yeah, there we go. This hunter's bow might sell for something, or we can actually use it for our mercenary that we're going to get. By the way, I always thought as a kid that this was so cool, this dying animation.
Rest now, Bloodraven.
Alright, so that quest is going to be completed. Now, on the burial grounds there are two side areas. One of them is called the Mausoleum, and we are going to visit it on Hell. I think I'm going to leave it until Hell, because on Hell this is a level 85 area, and we might even farm it for a little bit. And the crypt here is something that you normally don't visit at all, because even on Hell it's just in the level 83 area, I think. So not that profitable to farm, although if you farm the Mausoleum you might as well farm the crypt. On Hell there are only lightning immunes there, so for some builds it is actually, you know, those two places, especially the Mausoleum, are just profitable to farm. You know, if... well, let's not go off on tangents. Anyway, the crypt, not that often visited, but there is a super unique here called Bonebreaker, and there he is, the red guy. So we are going to have to get rid of him, and that's going to be another one of, or part of one of our objectives done already. Let me just rework our inventory a little bit.
I am overburdened.
And no, you're not that overburdened.
I am overburdened.
And also chest. Oh, a wand, 2 sashes. I think I'm just going to have to get rid of all this. By the way, another important thing to talk about. You know, I think I'm just going to go and sell this stuff right now. In a moment, Kasia. I know you're in there. Let's be systematic about all this. Like I am just all over the place. All right, not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. Now this I might actually leave for a moment. All right, 500. Finally, we're getting some money in there. Fire resist 5%. Well, might as well put it on. And yeah, the wand. This might be something that gives us some mana. Unfortunately, not that much. Didn't have any plus skills on it. And yeah, now we can get. Yeah, probably let's get these books already. These tomes of Town Portal and Identify can hold up to 20 of these scrolls, so they save up some inventory space like that. And yeah, let's just keep buying mana potions. That's the first priority. Some stamina potions. It's faster to just left click on like yes, and instead of just right click buying them like one at a time. It's a little bit faster. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about is that these stamina potions and other potions as well, like the antidotes and thawing potions, they last for 30 seconds and they actually stack. If you drink 10 of them at a time, you're going to have 300 seconds worth of that kind of effect of unlimited stamina. I'm using them kind of one at a time though, because of course we have our natural stamina bar, and when that goes low enough, then I drink a stamina potion that, you know, automatically refills our stamina, gives us the unlimited stamina for 30 seconds, and then we again have our natural stamina bar that is going to keep going down as we're running. Anyway, let's finish this quest with Kasia.
I can hardly believe that you've defeated Bloodraven. Though she was once my closest friend, I pray that her tortured spirit remains banished forever. You have earned my respect, stranger, and the allegiance of the rogues. I have placed several of my best warriors at your disposal.
Yeah, here we get a free mercenary. We have now obtained the...
I can't use them.
Oh, she doesn't have enough dexterity yet, or... yeah, the level is not enough. She needs to level up once. Oh man. Alright, now the Bloodraven quest is completed. Anyway, she can do a little damage early on, especially if you give her a decent bow, and there's a few types of them. Firing different types of arrows, and Kasia is the one where, well, we can actually see that. You know, we can hire either cold arrow, fire arrow. They are not that big of a deal, these mercenaries. Anyway, now Akara is going to have another quest for us.
It is clear that we are facing an evil difficult to comprehend, let alone combat. There is only one Haradrim sage, schooled in the most arcane history and lore, who could advise us. His name is Deckard Cain. You must go to Tristram and find him, my friend. I pray that he still lives.
Alright, so now we have the Tristram quest. We're going to get on that soon. Oh yeah, now let's first finish looting. There was something that I was interested in here. Well,
I can't carry anymore.
we already are problematic, aren't you? Alright, let's actually sell that quickly and get some space in our inventory here. I'm really not satisfied with how slow this is going, but I would like to be a little bit more efficient with everything. Anyway, enough fooling around. We have a job to do. Of course, we have the objectives to do here in the Cold Plains already. And yeah, that was one of my thoughts that was interrupted. Here we need to find an optional area called the Cave. Because on Monster Shrine we can activate. This is going to create a special group of monsters, so we can use that for some experience. Yeah, here we have Wind Skull the Mad. And we can just loot his stuff and kind of move on. Oh, Grand Charm. A lot of how you identify like what dropped in this game is by sound cues.
Thank you.
But anyway, I just gave her, our mercenary, the healing potion. You might have heard her saying thank you or something. Basically, if you shift click or shift 1 or 2 here in my case, a potion, it just gives the potion to your mercenary. Anyway, here's the cave. We're going to have the Cold Crow, kind of a cold enchanted archer. That's not gonna be a big deal on normal here, but on higher difficulties she sometimes gets a bit dangerous. Here's a pack of zombies that we're just going to kill for experience. In general, we might have noticed that, you know, I'm skipping some normal monsters. You know, if they're kind of not worth the effort of just staying there and killing them. But of course, these special groups, the uniques and champions, I am going to stop to kill. Anyway, I would like to pick up that scepter. Let's just rearrange our stuff and keep going. By the way, this area has 2 levels, but we're going to do level 2 on Nightmare. Like most of these side areas, we're going to do them on Nightmare. Some of them we're going to do on Hell. And since, you know, things are progressing kind of slowly... Here's Cold Crow, by the way. Oh no, that's Gorefester, the hunter, not Cold Crow yet. Anyway, since things are progressing kind of slowly on normal, you know, I'm going to leave a lot of these side areas for Nightmare. And it's going to be more fun and more interesting. Some of these side areas also get bigger on Nightmare. And
I can't carry anymore. I am
so yeah, I'm not going to go on to level 2 because Cold Crow is here on level 1, and it's just not that much point to visit level 2 on normal. Anyway, this area is already quite big on normal. But yeah, some areas actually grow with the difficulty level. And this is going to be especially noticeable in the Countess Tower. That gets noticeably bigger on Nightmare, and those levels get really big on Hell. Alright, here's Cold Crow, our cold enchanted lady, and our mercenary is already gone. We're not going to re-recruit her. I'm not going to bother with her. Mercenaries in general, you know, die kind of easily, especially if you don't provide them with any gear.
I can't carry anymore.
Anyway, we're out of here. Cold Crow is defeated. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is, yeah, I'm doing these level ups slowly. I'm all over the place. Anyway, let's just sell that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a few of these. 8 to life. I might hold on to it for now. No skills there. No skills there. Okay. Not that much money so far. But we do have some inventory space now. And actually, time to present our expanded stash. The PlugY stash. And the control click functionality of Basemod. We can just boom, boom, transfer these. I'm going to generally sort my stash kind of in between recordings, not to waste time on camera. But yeah, this is going to be extremely, extremely useful with, you know, unlimited amount of pages. We're going to have everything nicely sorted when we actually acquire some materials and different useful stuff. Anyway, another thing I wanted to discuss was how I'm always using Town Portal from my inventory. You can bind it as a skill. I'm going to show that in a moment once we're done with these dudes. You can bind it here as a skill, and you know, of course, this is going to still use your scrolls of Town Portal from your tome, but this cast has a casting animation, as you've been able to notice there. So that casting animation you know, is slow and it can be interrupted. Well, of course, with the Sorceress, it's not that slow. It's way more noticeable on classes that have really bad, like, casting frames, like the Amazon, for example. But yeah, it has a casting animation that can be interrupted. And if you use the town portal scroll from... Jesus Christ, there's like 5 different topics I want to talk about at the same time. Just to finish my thought, though, if you use it from your inventory, you can use it on the move. It's not interruptible. It just happens instantly without any animation. So that's why we're... it's just a habit that I've developed. It's a useful habit to have, to just use it from your inventory like that. Anyway, another super unique Bishi Bosh. Let's kill him. And with his demise, we have completed all of our objectives in the Cold Plains. So now it's time to move on to the Stony Field. And we're going to have, again, many things to do there. And, you know, if we follow this path, it might lead us to the Stony Field. And now here we have a few things to do as well. Here we have a waypoint to find. And we have the circle of these stone pillars to find. There's also going to be the super unique Rakanishu in there. And we also need to find the passage, or the entrance to the underground passage. I might actually drop a TP here for later. And here are the stones. There's Rakanishu, the carver. That's always lightning enchanted and extra fast. But if we take him from a distance, he shouldn't be that big of a deal. Of course, he emits his own charged bolts there, and since he is lightning enchanted, he is also resistant to our lightning. That's why it's he is not dying so quickly, and you could already see how, even like on stupid normal difficulty, these charged bolts from lightning enchanted monsters can be quite dangerous already. Anyway, let's allow the Sorceress to share her thoughts here.
These stones radiate powerful magic.
Indeed. Anyway, I also forgot to mention one more thing we need to do in the Stony Field. We need to find a certain tome that kind of officially starts the Countess quest. You don't need to find it at all. But I would like to, of course, show it in the Completionist playthrough, especially since, alright, here is the Moldy Tome. Let's just clear up the area so we can just listen to it in peace, especially since it is narrated by a fantastic voice actor, Max Schaefer, who was very prominent in Diablo 1 and narrated many of the tomes that you would find in the Labyrinth levels. You know, the Horadrim tomes that always started with the classic phrase, "Take heed and bear witness to the truths that lie herein, for they are the last legacy of the Horadrim." And he also narrated, you know, the kind of the journals of Archbishop Lazarus and everything. Like, just like from his voice, you could clearly see the insanity of Lazarus when he was like, "Praise be to Diablo," and stuff like that. Especially since he had a bit of an effect on his voice, like an echo, I think, or something like that. And these tomes, when I played Diablo 1 as a kid, gave me the chills, man. And I really don't understand why they don't utilize this voice actor anymore. In any other of their Blizzard titles. Like here in Diablo 2, he only narrates this Moldy Tome and then the Horizons Journal in Act 2, and that's it. And anyway, let's listen.
And so it came to pass that the Countess, who once bathed in the rejuvenating blood of 100 virgins, was buried alive. And her castle, in which so many cruel deeds took place, fell rapidly into ruin. Rising over the buried dungeons in that god-forsaken wilderness, a solitary tower, like some monument to evil, is all that remains. The Countess's fortune was believed to be divided among the clergy, although some say that more remains unfound, still buried alongside the rotting skulls that bear mute witness to the inhumanity of the human creature.
Yeah, and this starts the quest, The Forgotten Tower. Anyway, we're going to get to that a little bit later. Now we need to find that waypoint. And we're going to have pretty much all of the objectives completed here in the Stony Field. And we're going to have to go through the underground passage in order to reach the Dark Wood. Also, I should be spending our points here. Of course, I usually have a lot of different things I want to talk about on my mind, and you know, of course, if you want to explain the 1,000 mechanics that are involved in this game, you know, there's just a lot that interrupts my thought process, it seems. But anyway, I want to explain all of this stuff, you know, especially for people unfamiliar with Diablo 2, and you know, especially that is going to be, you know, helpful, I think. But also, if you are familiar with the game, you know, there's so many different little things in Diablo 2 to learn that, like for example, well, I can actually put that on for now, that I learned like years after like really playing, you know, a lot on Battle.net, that just blew my mind, especially when it comes to map knowledge, that already played a little part in the Bloodmoor and in the Cold Plains. In the Stony field as well, basically the cairn stones are always somewhere near the path. And yeah, I actually dropped the town portal. But anyway, the map knowledge, the different clues that can help you read the maps to find your way around, are going to be way more prominent in some of the other areas, kind of more of the dungeon areas. And the first really great demonstration of that is going to be the Countess Tower. Anyway, here in the underground passage already we can... there's also something that can help us navigate our way. If we want to, this is again a 2-level area, we're not going to visit level 2 on normal. We just want to find the passage to the Dark Wood, the exit from this area. And basically how that is done is that it is going to be located somewhere kind of straightforward from the first tile. And this is the first tile, identifying the whole first tile in the, you know, on the map, and how it's oriented, kind of how it's situated on the map. Because, you know, Diablo 2 is generated according to some rules. Even though the maps are random, they do adhere to some rules. And a lot of these rules have been figured out, especially by the speedrunning community of this game. And this info is just super cool for you know, my nerdy mind, I guess. And here we just go straight forward from how this first tile is oriented. So its exit kind of goes down to the bottom left. I think this one is considered going to the bottom left. And basically we have to just navigate like relative to how these tiles are situated on the map. And like I said, this is going to way more clear once we get to like the Countess Tower. That's going to be the like a really straightforward, good explanation of that. But basically we want to just go straight forward through. Don't go into any like extended different forks in the path, but just kind of go to the other side from the entrance. And that should bring us to where we need to go. There's a gem there. Chip Topaz is actually going to be useful to give us some lightning resist later on. I think I'm not going really to... Or is it? This is probably going to lead to like level 2. I think we might have to go over there. But anyway, I'm just going to explore a little bit more thoroughly to see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, this is just a dead end with all of these fallen. Yeah, this is passage to level 2. Alright. So we kind of know where we should be headed from here on out. Anyway, are we level 6 yet? Okay, we are. So we are going to be able to use these strangulating potions. I'm going to equip them in a moment. They're still useful even for a sorceress when it comes to killing some special groups of monsters. Yeah, strangulating gas potions. Alright, and let's get back on track. I have a job to do. We have some objectives to do. I think we're still in this episode. I think we owe it to Cain, one of the best characters in this whole series, to bring him back home safely from Tristram. So I think we can, still do that. So in the Dark Wood, there's again a couple of objectives. There's a waypoint, there's a super unique guarding a quest tree that we need to interact with. So yeah, there's a lot of things we need to do here. Also, since our money situation is not that great, I haven't yet been like incentivized, I guess, to like shop with Akara for a plus charge bolt staff. We could get, like, if we have like 5,000 gold, I would be more inclined to do so. Right, here's an experience shrine. I'm just going to pick it up right now. I try to find some good groups, like Treehead, whatever his name is, the super unique here. He is going to demonstrate hit recovery for us for sure, because he hits very hard. He is extra strong and extra fast. Really cool combination. And we're out of mana potions. I should have probably should have gone to town first and then, you know, replenished mana potions and then pick up this experience shrine. That is just going to be, just taking, at least we can get this group of lancers. Yeah, no mana potions there. Although we did get a level up, but we still need to get some mana potions.
The Order welcomes you.
Alright, this is just a normal spear. What am I doing here? Actually, let's just get rid of these. And one more thing, this ring, 3 mana, yeah, whatever. Unfortunately not a faster cast rate ring. Now you can get 10% FCR on rings, but not yet. But we're going to be on the lookout for jewelry, amulets and rings with 10% FCR. Those are going to help us immensely as a sorceress. But anyway, our gold situation, like I said, is not that great. I'm going to pick up telekinesis here, a very fun skill. Our damage is pretty good, so we can skip one charge bolt here and there to pick up some utility skills. And telekinesis is a really fun skill that allows us to interact from a distance with different interactable objects and pick up potions and gold from the ground also with it. So I can demonstrate that. Open this chest, pick up this experience shrine. It's I miss this skill, I think, more on other classes, more even than teleport, I think. I just love this skill. Unfortunately, you cannot use telekinesis to talk to NPCs in town. Unfortunately, you cannot invade their thoughts and, like, use a merchant's menu from a distance. Alright, gem shrine. If we still have, and I think I still have in the inventory, that chipped topaz, and I think I'm going to upgrade it to a flawed one. Because the gem shrine, if you have no gems in your inventory, it's just going to randomly give you a chipped gem. But if you do have a gem in your inventory, it's going to upgrade it to the next level. And there's like 5 or 6 levels, like off the top of my head, of gems. And topaz is actually going to be pretty useful to give us some lightning resistance on the shield. We are going to switch in Act 2. Yeah, we do have that chipped topaz and no other gems, so let's upgrade it to the flawed topaz. Yeah, we're going to switch to a one-handed like wand and a small shield, like near the end of Act 1, at the beginning of Act 2, because lightning resistance is going to be really useful in Act 2, because we're going to have to fight a lot of beetles that naturally exude these charge bolts. Anyway, Treehead, Iron Bark, or whatever his name is, was a super unique, of course, guarding this tree that we need to interact with. And let's just make sure there's no monsters so that the sorceress can talk peacefully.
This ancient tree has an aura of magic about it.
Yeah, now we have this scroll that we can pick up, and Akara is going to be able to translate the runes on this scroll and make some sense of it for us. And yeah, we need to bring it to Akara. Now we need to just find the waypoint here, and we're going to be done with this area, more or less. And we're going to go back to the Stony field to go to Tristram and free Cain. Cain's probably my favorite character from the whole series of Diablo. I'm just groaning here because I immediately thought to what happens in Diablo 3, what an unforgivable sin they have made there in that game. Anyway, we don't want to go to the Black Marsh yet, but it's good that we have found the passage. We just need to find the waypoint here in the Dark Wood, and we're going to be all set. Yeah, I think the frantic explanations have calmed down for a moment here, at least, which is really cool. Finally, I have a relative peace of mind for at least a moment. Anyway, where's that waypoint game? Alright, there it is. You can also flag it with a telekinesis, go back to our camp and speak to Kara.
Ah, very good. I have translated the runes on this scroll. You must find the cairn stones and touch them in the order that I have written.
So yeah, this order is going to be revealed to us now. Usually you just can click randomly. You don't even have to look at the scroll. You can just click randomly on the pillars and, you know, they are going to activate quickly enough, but... Alright, faster hit recovery. Let's get that, I guess. Although I would really... Well... I was about to say that I would really like to have some 2 open socket helmets and 2 open socket chests, but it's actually not a big deal. You can always shop for them in Act 1 and Act 2. Now, what are we doing? We're going to the Stony field, and we need to go to the cairn stones that were up there, to the northwest. Now that we know the order in which to activate these stone pillars, of course we're going to be able to create a portal to Tristram and see what kind of shadow befell. Wow, I'm getting really spoiled with these experience shrines, and not much comes out of it though, because we're not really going for some experience farming runs yet. And once we start doing the Countess's tower, experience shrines are really welcome there. It's really a nice place to do a couple of runs for the runes and for the experience. Now the portal to Tristram has been created. Find and rescue Deckard Cain. Let's go.
Tristram was no match for Diablo's fury.
Yeah. Anyway, here's going to be Cain.
Help!
Cain. Help! Just in that dangling in that cage. Help. We are going to help you, old man, in a minute. Let's just clear out the area. Just pick up some of this gold, maybe. Our gold situation should be really a lot better by now. Anyway, here's Griswold, another super unique and some really dangerous archers, it seems. Let's back out a little bit and allow these slow healing potions to do their work. Anyway, Griswold, of course, a town NPC from Diablo 1, the blacksmith. He's always cursed though, so I'm not going to go close to him. Whoa! What can I do for you? That's my butchered attempt at doing a Griswold impersonation. Very cool character from Diablo 1, but yeah, unfortunate what happened to him. Yeah, if they are cursed, they are going to apply the amplified damage curse on you when they hit you, which doubles the physical damage that is inflicted upon you. And I would like to check out that staff. It might have some useful plus skills for us. 2 to frozen armor. Well, I guess we can use it for now and actually have frozen armor for free then. Frozen armor freezes melee attackers. And it's generally the armor of choice for the Sorceress. It's really useful, especially once you get teleport, while you're teleporting around. Yeah, what is this extra strong? That dude? Can't really target the right one. Yeah, extra strong, that's why they hurt so much. Anyway, we got a level out of that, at least. And we have a preserved head that might sell well. If it has some skills, some necro skills. Anyway, let's free Deckard Cain. Now, if you free him before he makes the portal to the rogue's encampment, you can actually talk to him, but I'm going to do that on Nightmare, because this cuts out the sorceress's line that she says to him, and so on normal, let's actually listen to her line, I guess.
Deckard Cain! Get to the rogue camp!
Yeah, you could click on him, I guess, and have a conversation that probably not many people experienced. But anyway, we're going to do that on Nightmare. And here the last thing we need to do is visit the corpse of Wirt, the peg-legged boy from Diablo 1, a different type of merchant that was very out of the way. And we got his leg. That is going to be important for us once we are finished with Nightmare difficulty. Anyway, now let's talk with our main man, Deckard Cain.
As a token of my gratitude, I will identify items for you at no charge.
Oh, yes.
Regrettably, I could do nothing to prevent the disaster which devastated Tristram. It would appear that our greatest fears have come to pass. Diablo, the Lord of Terror, has once again been set loose upon the world. As you know, some time ago Diablo was slain beneath Tristram, and when our hero emerged triumphant from the labyrinth beneath town, we held a grand celebration that lasted several days. Yet, as the weeks passed, our hero became increasingly aloof. He kept his distance from the rest of the townsfolk and seemed to lapse into a dark, brooding depression. I thought that perhaps his ordeal had been so disturbing that he simply could not put it out of his mind. The hero seemed more tormented every passing day. I remember he awoke many times, screaming in the night, always something about the East. One day he simply left, and shortly thereafter Tristram was attacked by legions of foul demons. Many were slain, and the demons left me to die in that cursed cage. I believe now that Tristram's hero was that dark wanderer who passed this way before the monastery fell. I fear even worse, my friend. I fear that Diablo has taken possession of the hero who sought to slay him. If true, Diablo will become more powerful than ever before. You must stop him, or all will be lost.
Yeah, so now basically the initial portion of the story is revealed. It's clear now the Dark Wanderer is of course the hero from Diablo 1 that in the ending cinematic, inserted this soulstone of Diablo into his forehead and is apparently being possessed by Diablo now and heading east. Anyway, now we have a quick free identify on all of our items in the inventory from Deckard Cain. That's super convenient. And also I was about to say that, of course, with each of these town NPCs you can talk, you can gossip and have their opinion about certain quests and all that. I'm not going to really engage into all that, with the exception of Act 3 Alcor. I think I'm going to really explore his gossips because he has so many really funny things to say. But anyway, I'm normally not going to waste time with this. But anyway, let's finish this quest with Akara, and she's going to give us a ring.
You have risked your life to rescue Cain. For that we thank you. We must seek his counsel immediately.
Well, I already did that. Anyway, now let's... Alright, fire resist 7%. That's okay, I guess. And yeah, it seems like we don't really have all that much. Okay, I'm going to start leveling strength up to level 25 so that soon enough we can have a belt with 3 rows. You can just purchase that from Charcy or just find that during adventuring. We're going to deposit our stuff in our stash, and I think this is going to be it for this episode, I think. Yeah, Deckard Cain doesn't have any additional insight for now. But yeah, now we have the search for Cain completed, and we're going to start out with the tower and further exploration and the Black March in the next episode. So for now, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this kind of a, really heavy on explanations, a little slow episode, but it's all going to become much faster, much more efficient, I guess, in the subsequent episodes where the explanations are not going to be as plentiful and I'm not going to be as rusty, I guess, playing the game. So for now, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.